again, friends. Tooth vlog number 2. So I spent a good amount of time today in the dentist chair, but not the orthodontist. So as you probably already know, when you want to get braces on, you kind of have to go to your general dentist to get any fillings or crowns, root canals, any of the decay work that you might have to do that's left pending before you get braces. So I had made an appointment with my general dentist like last week after I made that first vlog. And my appointment isn't until next week. Well, go figure. Didn't have any problems, and then all of a sudden I get a killer toothache. So I went in today, and luckily they could fit me in. And it turns out I have a really impacted wisdom tooth. So that might have to come out before anything else happens. But we're going to play it by ear, put me on some antibiotics, and I'm going to see them next week for a full exam and thorough x-rays and everything, and kind of get a course plotted out for what my general dentistry needs are going to be before I get braces put on. But the dentist and the orthodontist that I see know each other well, and they refer people back and forth. I go to Greenfield Family Dentistry. Really great practice, and I can't say enough about them. Just as awesome as McDonald Orthodontics. So anyway, I went and I saw Dr. Herr, and he took a look and again put me on some antibiotics. So that was kind of a drag, and my tooth is killing me. Actually, my whole mouth is killing me, my whole jaw right in here. Kind of sucks. So hopefully within the next day or so, the antibiotics will help take down some of the discomfort, and then we'll see next week how everything's going and what all I need to do before I get my actual braces put on. So I am aiming for the end of July. Is just kind of my rough estimate. Hopefully maybe a little sooner, but I'm trying to go for nothing later than the end of July to get my actual braces put on. So I also wanted to kind of touch on why my dentist said he wanted to do, or why he prefers the In Ovation C braces over the Damon system. So the Damon system is kind of all over the place, and you see it's really popular, heavily marketed, and being someone in sales and marketing, I like to try and see through that when I can. So I talked to Dr. McDonald about why he prefers that, because being the obsessive researcher that I am, I want to know every little thing and why one thing is the way it is, and he explained it pretty well. And he said both are self-ligating, which means the wires aren't held in place by those rubber bands. I'm sure there's a better explanation for it than that, but basically the wires are able to move freely. And the Damon system, he said the wire is smaller, which some people prefer because it visually, aesthetically, it looks a little nicer because the wire isn't as big. But he said the problem with that is towards the end of people's treatment plans, it's harder to get a precision result, like a precision finish. Like people will end up with gaps, and that might add an extra month or two to the very end of their treatment. And I'll have to say, when I was looking up other people's video blogs, I noticed a lot of people were saying, like, oh my gosh, I'm excited to get my braces off today, and then they'll be like, oh, just kidding, I've got to wait another month. And I can't even imagine how disappointing that would be. So what he said is the In Ovation C wire is thicker, not significantly so, but it's enough that he's able to get a tighter control on the movement. So that was good enough for me. I'm sure there's other reasons. And he said that, you know, he kind of doesn't particularly care for all the marketing hype and everything, because when it comes down to it, what really matters is your orthodontist and their skill, which I have to agree with. So I'm sure people were getting great results even when people didn't have the self-ligating option, and when people were still using the old traditional braces. So anyhow, also wanted to talk about the fact that I'll be getting the clear on the top, the clear ceramic on the top, on my top teeth where you can see when I smile, and then the traditional on the bottom. And it kind of freaks me out a little bit because I tend to smile really big. But he said the reason for that, especially with my bite in particular, was that my teeth kind of go over a little bit, and the ceramic brackets are actually harder than tooth enamel. So when you bite down, if your tooth hits the bracket, it can chip. So that sounds awful to me, because really my favorite teeth are those ones up front. So don't want anything bad to happen to those. So anyway, clear on top, traditional on bottom, both self-ligating, but regular metal brackets on the bottom. So again, totally fine with whatever he suggests. And also, I know I got cut off in my last video, but what I was in the middle of saying was that he does the top first, and then waits a month and does the bottom. And he said it's a lot easier to adjust to how they feel that way. So I'm totally on board. I told him I will be very complacent patient and do whatever it is that he recommends. And anyway, again, really excited to make progress and get some of the general dentistry stuff that I've been putting off. So this is a great motivator to get everything taken care of that I need to.